some of you probably saw, a few of you have talked about this, a few of you already, but a few weeks ago we had some really good news from the Greens in Europe. We had elections in Belgium, Luxembourg and Germany, which all saw significant electoral gains for the Green Party, in some places becoming the second party. It can be done. Greens can win. And that same week there was a poll in the German national press which actually showed the German Greens polling as the most popular party in Germany, on about 20%. However, that same poll also showed the far right, very worryingly showed the far right AfD party increasing their growth, their support, coming third with around 16%. What this suggests to me, this scenario, is the political landscape is changing. Things are shifting. Spaces are opening up. And we need to be ready to fill those spaces when they do. There's no doubt, we're living in very challenging, critical times politically. Communities across Wales have been devastated by the austerity agenda, the politically driven austerity agenda. We've got rampant inequality, horrific levels of deprivation. 1.5 million people in the UK live in deprivation, according to the recent UN Rapporteur's report. And then globally, internationally, we've got the effects, the ongoing effects of the climate catastrophe becoming impossible for everyone to ignore, except for the most strident deniers. And with that, the environmental degradation that goes with that. These issues, these crucial issues at both local and international level, should play to our strengths as the Greens. We're the party that has long identified and understood the root causes and the connectedness of these issues. We're the party with policies that offer real, genuine solutions to these problems of environmental and social injustice. We're the party that have been saying for a long time, loudly and clearly, things don't have to be this way. A better world is possible. Our voice, our message needs to be heard. And that's particularly relevant here in Wales, where we should be pushing an open door here. We've got, with devolution and devolved powers are only going to increase, it should be so much easier to make these important changes on the ground here. And we've seen such promise 3 years ago, the groundbreaking Wellbeing of Future Generations Act. This should have been, and could still be, a game changer. And in a similar vein, we've got the Active Travel Act. But frustratingly, 3 years later, all these years later, these fine words aren't translating into concrete action. We've got a Welsh government recklessly proceeding with its plans for Wilford B, its plans for the M4 relief road, and recently the farce of the dredges off the shore of Penarth, dumping the potentially toxic mud from Hinckley Sea, with the full go-ahead of the Welsh Government. These are the reasons why our strong Green voice is so desperately needed here in Wales. We need elected Green representation at every level of government in Wales, scrutinising, challenging and helping to shape those decisions that affect each and every one of us every day. Our voice needs to be heard. And that's why I'm putting myself forward for the spokesperson, leader role of Wales Green Party. I believe that I have the skills, the experience, and equally important, perhaps most importantly, the public profile needed to get our voice heard across Wales in local and national media, to grow our membership and to enable that membership to get those Greens elected. I've been an active member in Wales Green Party for several years, probably coming on for a decade, both locally in Cardiff, Penarth and the Vale of Glamorgan, and nationally across Wales during my 2 terms as Deputy Leader of Wales Green Party. And during that time, I've represented Wales Green Party at many sorts of events, debates, large and small, some quite a lot larger, which has given me a very valuable experience at getting our message and communicating our values to a wider audience. These debates have included some with very prominent Welsh politicians, such as Leanne Wood, Mark Drakeford several times, Alan Cairns and many others. I've also had extensive experience. 30 seconds, oh God, sorry, I've missed time with this. The reason I was highlighting my experience is because I believe the problem that faces us is visibility. We are off the radar here in Wales. Our voice needs to be seen and needs to be heard. We've got such an uphill challenge before the next election to make sure we have a seat at the media table. That is why I believe my experiences will be very helpful at getting our voice heard, getting our message across. If elected as your spokesperson, I will work tirelessly to get our message heard and to get that elected representation. Working together, we can, we must, and we will become the force for change that Wales so desperately needs. Thank you.
I don't know everyone here, so my name is Mirka, and I've been acting as deputy leader this year, and then since the resignation we had as acting leader. As the Wales Green Party, I think it is our duty to reimagine how life can be better whilst we urgently limit global warming to 1.5 degrees. From education to transport, our communications must portray a positive voice driven by hope and solutions. And as your Green Party representative, I've consistently promoted a positive attitude, a global outlook and cooperation. So my vision for Wales Green Party is a strong grassroots force standing up for Wales whilst maintaining an international outlook. As deputy leader, I work to lay the foundations for what is required for a successful leadership team. I work to create networks, I've supported local parties and election campaigns, and I've represented the party across Wales, England and in Europe. I stepped into the role of acting leader at short notice, and the first thing I did was to deliver a leadership speech to an audience of hundreds of members of the most recent Green Party of England and Wales conference. I've spoken on behalf of Wales Green Party, promoting our interests at Keppoch, which is the party's governing body. This is something I find very important to our party's strategic development. We need a consistent voice representing Wales within the wider party, and in the past few months I've provided just that. I've also volunteered as press officer for a number of years. In this role, I secured coverage in both national news outlets, such as BBC Wales, as well as local press, such as South Wales Argus, where I live in Newport. I've supported candidates across Wales, coordinated election coverage and interviews, as well as played an important part in establishing a volunteer press team in Wales going forward. I've also represented Wales Green Party on BBC Radio Wales, for example. And as leader, I will continue to focus on building our party from the bottom up, upskilling our local parties and laying the foundations for electoral success. And here is how I will do it. I will work with our local parties to grow and improve the recognition of Wales Green Party across Wales by working with the party's press team to gain local press coverage through leadership visits and other events. I will also support our staff to ensure that the skills to employ Target to Win are evenly shared across local parties, and that our activists have the confidence and the roadmap to work towards getting a green voice in every council in Wales. And I will continue to build bridges across the Welsh border in order to increase representation and recognition of Wales within the wider party. I will continue to communicate effectively with other Welsh representatives on Keppoch to ensure that Wales Green Party's interests are strongly advocated for. As opposed to the majority of those involved in politics in Wales, I am relatively young and I am an immigrant. I'm also a woman, and how different that is has become increasingly obvious to me since I started as deputy leader at the start of the year. But I'm standing for leader because I believe that you've got to be the change you want to see, and I don't think that there is better time for us to prove that than now. Thank you.
Well, good evening everybody. Nice to meet you all. I come all the way down from North Wales for this one, which is where I live in Wrexham, and I'm actually the coordinator of the local party branch in North East Wales. Although I have to say, as part of introducing my background, I'm actually a Cardiff boy, because I was born and brought up in Cardiff many more years ago than I care to remember now. So in terms of the elections that are underway, I'm actually standing in a different election to these three anyway, because I've accepted nomination for the post of deputy leader. However, as I'm going to go on to describe in this little introduction, I think the posts of leader or chief spokesperson and the deputy are very much linked and intertwined, because I believe one of the most important things that we need moving forward is a cohesive leadership team that can work together to provide the best possible policy development and management that the Wales Green Party can get. I should say a few things about myself first, I guess, before I go any further. So I've been a member of the Green Party now for over 4 years, and during that time, as well as being active in my local party branch, I'm now on the Green Party Council, and during the past year I've been the conferences and meetings organiser. I've contested 4 elections for the Wales Green Party, including 1 general election, 1 local election, and 2 assembly elections, including the by-election in Allen and Deeside last February, where although we obviously never came anywhere close to winning the by-election, we did have a fantastic time with all the media opportunities which came our way, which I was really delighted to be able to have a hand in answering the call for. So my background beyond that has been politically and in campaigning terms really in most of the organisations that I've been involved with, going back to the days when I was the national organiser and general secretary for CND, the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, to a long spell I spent as a campaigns and education officer for Oxfam, and then a further very lengthy spell which I spent working for the cooperative group in Wales, during which time I was mainly active around local community and membership issues, and I was also very pleased to be the chair of Fair Trade Wales at the time when Wales became the world's first fair trade nation. Now, we've been asked to say what we have in mind as a sort of vision for the Green Party in Wales for the future. Mine is very simple really, and it is to try and realise all of the opportunities that come our way in terms of raising our profile, because I don't think that that is happening sufficiently at the moment. And the way I think we should be doing that is obviously we need more members, we need more active local party branches, but to a large extent what happens to us is dictated by events, which I think famous politicians have said before now. So it's things like Brexit, where we have to take advantage of what is going on in the political firmament. It's things like the controversy over the bypass scheme around Newport. It's things like the Swansea Bay tidal lagoon, and it's things like the plan for oil for B in North Wales. All of these things are things where we've got a very keen interest and should be making our voices heard more. And my vision would be for that to be happening to a far greater extent in the years to come. Now, I'm going to read out, which you have to give me a nod if I'm getting near the end of my time. I just want to read a comment for you. This is about the plan for the relief road around Newport. It says, the Welsh Government's obsession with addressing 21st century transport issues with 20th century solutions must not continue. The route fails to consider future trends and does not reflect the ambition or intention of the Act. Now that statement could have come from a spokesperson from the Wales Green Party. It says everything that we want to say. It actually came from the person that the Welsh Government put in charge of the Wellbeing of Future Generations Wales Act in terms of producing a report on that project. So that is the sort of thing where I would like us to see us raising our profile and doing more to get the word out there about the fact that these are things that we support in the Wales Green Party. The other thing which I think is absolutely essential, and I'm sure I'll be at one with all the other candidates here in talking about this, is that we need our leadership team within the Wales Green Party to be involved at every level. So when there are elections taking place, I would be expecting local parties to be coming to us and saying, we want you to visit us, we want you to help us, we want you to come out and do things for us. And that's what I think we should be doing. We need to be fully involved in all the opportunities that we have within the Green Party of England and Wales, because I think those have been to some extent neglected in the past year or so. And we need to be fully involved with all of the active officers within the Wales Green Party Council to make sure that that is an effective body for the Green Party in Wales. Thank you.
Okay, good evening and thank you for coming out, everybody. I'm Alex Harris and I'm currently chair of Severn Valleys Green Party, and our AGM will be in Neath this Saturday coming up now. I'm also a town councillor. I became town councillor in May last year, and I've become one of the most active councillors within the town already, being chair of the planning committee and deputy chair of the finance and governance committee as well. I'm an active member of the local fair trade steering group, and I'm also a member of the community energy group that's part of Sustainable Wales, and we're looking at positive solutions to some of the austerity cuts around us to the bus routes, and we're currently looking at feasibility studies for getting electric buses going locally. I've been invited to be guest speakers at all sorts of events just recently. The most recent ones Monday night this week. I was a speaker for Sustainable Wales, talking about local regeneration from a green point of view in our town, and which got covered by the Glamorgan Gem. And last month I was guest speaker at Bridgend for Europe, again talking about Brexit from a Green perspective. With regards to Brexit, I attended the People's Vote up in London in June and again in October, and it was really good to see everybody being seen and out and having all their banners showing the Green Party. I've attended the Green Party England and Wales conference in Bristol this year, and couldn't believe it how busy I was. I just didn't stop the amount of workshops and seminars that I attended, and it's so inspiring to be surrounded by so many other green people, and it was an absolutely wonderful experience. With respect to my vision going forward for the Green Party, I think we need to get more active, and we need to increase our visibility, and we need to frame our message in a way that delivers it and actually gets it across to the public that these are positive things that are good for their lives now and their grandchildren's lives in the future. On campaigning, yes, I think some of the other candidates have mentioned the M4 and the fact that we need to have much better public transport. We should be investing that money that is currently earmarked for the M4 in the Cardiff Metro and in other public transport up and down the country. And simple things like tree planting. We need tree planting, eco-forestry, agroforestry even, across Wales with our farmers and from a government point of view. But we also need to be active at a local level with individuals planting trees in their back gardens and on that guerrilla gardening on that little patch of land that you walk past every day and think that looks a tip. We need to engage with other like-minded groups, plastic-free, community energy, Woodland Trust, Keep Wales Tidy, all these different organisations we can work with, because they're all working towards the same kind of goals that we are. And we need to reach outside of our comfort zone. We need to go into the deprived areas of the country and the rural areas. They need enterprise hubs, they need high-speed internet, they need digital connections. We need to follow the Target to Win plan. We need to be out there canvassing, getting ready for the Assembly elections. We're only 2.5 years away now, and we need to start this right here and right now if we want to stand any chance of actually getting people into the Assembly at the next elections. And I think one of the questions was asked was what is our biggest challenge to the party right now, and I would say we are too nice. We are all lovely people, and we expect everyone to accept the logic of climate change and to say yes, it's logical, vote for us. We need to get smarter and tougher, and we need to get the message out there and frame it in a way that the public understand and that we can get it across to them. So thank you very much.